Welcome everyone. So far as the people start filing into the Twitch here, my name's Amo. I'm going to be the host of tonight's first match. This series coming up, we got Bronze 5Age. Jeez, I'm going to mess that up probably all night. In Crimson Hellkites. But first, I'd like to bring out my co-host for this evening, Minor Threat. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Amo? I'm great tonight. We've got a great matchup. Two heavyweights going at it, and we've even got some special guests to discuss the match beforehand.
We do something that we're going to be trying out a little bit here. New season, new stuff going on. Minor, who's our first guest? What's coming up?
First up, I'm going to let him introduce himself, but he's representing the Bronze 5Age. Go for it, my friend.
Hi, Mike. I'm Psychopez, aka Mike. Bronze 5Age. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey, welcome to the cast, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
What's up? So we got Psychopez. Real quick, Psychopez, tell us first how long you've been part of Vantage and who's on your team tonight.
So I've been part of Vantage for 2-3 months now. I forget. It's not very long. And my team, let's see, we have up top, we have Jetstone and Jungle. I forget what name he's using. Butterfreelo. The mid is Shadow 297. ADC is Alston Restip. And I'm the Ward Monkey support.
Hey, the Ward Monkey is a crucial position in Vantage. We've seen Wards win championships, not just games. Now,
I mean, I gotta be useful somehow, and that's all I can really do.
Exactly. Now, what are your thoughts? First game of the year, first Vantage League game. You're going up against the champs, the Crimson Hellkites. I don't want to ask you for your strategy before game one, but what's the general feeling in your team?
For three of us, this is our first season doing Vantage League, the league. So we're excited and tentatively nervous. Like this weird, like, I can't wait to do it. Oh my god, we're doing this. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Like, it's this weird sine curve of emotions.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are hyped up for this. One last question. If you have to pick one person on your team and only one person to go off this game, who are we watching? Who's going to carry this team?
Shadow 2097. Mid laner
what makes
is
you say that?
He. I got him into League, and I've kind of like watched him start the game and figure it out and play a lot more than I do. And he's chomping at the bit. He's ready. He's excited, and you give him time, and he'll just bury you. So.
Well, excellent. We will keep an eye on him for sure. Thank you for taking time out of your preparation to do an interview.
Hey, no problem.
We are going to let you get back to your team and bring on our next special guest.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, and next up, from the Crimson Hellkites, one of the champs himself, Oni Noken.
Hey guys, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, good to have you on the stream. So, quick question for you. I know that you're not on the team anymore, you're the coach, but being the champions, what is your plan to repeat as champions?
Well, so one of the things that let us compete, no matter who we were playing against, and we had some pretty rough games last split, that we still managed to pull out was our macro play. Even if we had rough lanes, we could oftentimes secure objectives through macro focus. So we're going to keep building off of that, and to accomplish that, we took our top laner and moved him to jungler because he's taking over the shot calling position. And we find that letting the jungler do that allows us to really control the tempo and the pace of the game, and it makes our rotations through the mid game a lot sharper. So we've kind of shuffled our positions around to allow us to put pressure where we need to and maintain that macro focus that's worked well for us so far.
Awesome, awesome. Now, does the new shot calling ability, I know having it on your jungler, he can roam around and get stuff done, but have you found that having him do the shot calling, has it decreased his individual playmaking at all?
No, because we knew that that this was coming. The reason I stepped back from the team is my family just added a new baby to the household. So obviously we had a little bit of warning that that was going to be happening. So over the course of last season, we slowly started to share shot calling duties, where it went 100% from me to I was handling macro stuff, he was shot calling the team fights, and then I would lay out broad strategies for the teams to follow, and he would complement that. And then, so I've slowly been turning that over to him, so it's not an abrupt transfer of roles.
Well, it sounds like you guys have had some serious planning dating back to last year. It seems like I don't want to put you ahead of anything, but it sounds like you're in good position to continue your success. We'll put it that way. No cast your jinx on anything.
Oh, I appreciate
now, same question to you. We can only watch one person, and one person only. Who's it going to be to pop off?
Well, you're going to have to. It's all going to depend on jungle pressure. The side lanes in tonight's games are pretty unbalanced. I think top lane, Bronze 5H has a pretty big advantage, and I think bot lane, the Hellkites have the advantage. Mid lane should be about even, so it's going to all depend on how the junglers manage to handle those imbalances in the game, and see what they can do to play around that.
Well, excellent. Do you have any last words for us before we let you go?
No, I'm excited to see what happens.
Awesome. Thank you, and thank you, Psycho, for both coming on here for our pregame show. Hopefully we didn't interrupt your preparations too much, but we're excited to try this out as part of our cast. And now I think we'll throw it over to me and the Amo, and we're going to just check out the matchups real quick. Now, Amo, they were talking about the disparity in top and bottom lanes. What are you seeing with some of the champion picks? Where's the volatility that you see on these two team comps?
Well, when you first look at volatility, this is the first match of the season. Now, while Crimson Hellkites have come in with a set plan, as Oninoki said, and while the Bronze 5 Age is coming in with all new people, comfort I think is going to be the most key for not only their players but as a team. So if a player is on a more comfortable champion, then it's definitely they're going to play better, and it's going to be more comfort, and you'll see it happen, right? So like someone like Antitoxin has been spamming a ton of Malphite games. This is something that we saw when we looked at Crimson Hellkite games last season in the championship match. Both games, Malphite was banned against them, right? So you looking at something like that versus where you look the other direction, you see two players that both Butterfreelo and Ward Turtle have played Rumble and have a lot of Rumble games currently in their match history. So maybe that is something that Crimson Hellkites can look to ban to get on something on a lower priority for them.
Wait, is it possible that we could see a Rumble in the jungle?
I'm not saying it's for sure, because once again, while doing the scouting this afternoon, it wasn't 100% sure, but you can't play jungle every game, but it could happen.
Now, if he plays Rumble in the jungle without Jungle Rumble skin, permaban right there.
Yeah,
No
I mean,
discussion.
I will just not. I'll refuse to look at him with the camera if he's not doing Rumble in the jungle.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But in all seriousness, I'm excited for a Malphite top lane. I really feel in the LCS you can't get away with Malphite, right? They're just too good.
Mm-hmm.
But at our level, Plat below, Diamond and below, you can just have Malphite just walk up to a turret. The enemy team literally can't stand at that turret because if you press R on them, they will die. the rest of your team will follow up, and we're not, at this level, really good enough to counterplay Malphite hard enough to take away from that power that he has to zone people. So I'm excited for the Malphite pick, and a champion that might have a little less power that Antitoxin also plays, Teemo. It's always interesting when Teemo plays, just maybe not for the team that Teemo's playing on.
Well, we'll see what happens, right? This is most of these champions they're directly taking from solo queue stats here. So I mean, these are things where we're looking at going off of the last 2 seasons anyway. So some of these have been played at different metas, different times, strong picks, weak picks, going off. I mean, if you look across like teams though, like which champions on each side that are going to be contested, I think Lee Sin in the jungle is going to be a contested pick. If you're looking towards the mid lane, Vel'Koz I think is going to be a contested pick. Both supports pretty much kind of off of each other's game, but Karma may be you just kind of what you see. AD carries, they don't seem to have a lot of contested there either. So we're going to be looking at 2 different team comps and 2 different styles. I'm glad that people, hopefully they stick with their stuff. I don't want to see straight, LCS strats, because we're not in the LCS. Play what they're comfortable on, play what they can do their best on, and not only are they going to do well themselves, so they'll be able to impact for the team. Quick rundown here, as this is the first week. We don't have team VPRs at the top because no one's played any matches yet. We also don't have individual player VPRs. These are the stats that part of Vantage League you get, and it's all about yourself. And as you look at your team and yourself, you can track, and we'll be tracking this season the VPRs and kind of give you an idea, right? VPR is broken down into different stat categories based on CS, warding, getting to level 6, dealing damage to the enemy carry, how many times you die, and it gives you a score based on your rating at the people at your ELO. So a higher, it's score 1 to 100. The higher your score is, better you are compared to the people in your same ELO bracket at helping your team win games. So since we don't have any VPRs yet, we can't touch on that just yet, but that's something definitely to look forward to in the future. Do you see anything specific on the matchups here before we start getting the champion select?
Something that I realized is we forgot to introduce the teams. Did we not?
We did. They introduced themselves.
Okay. I wasn't sure that we got everyone.
Yeah, so we'll get a little bit more information here as the match will probably start up here pretty quickly. I just want to see if there's any strats that any of these people have been hiding or have been practicing. Once again, I was just looking at straight solo queue stuff. These teams have had a couple of weeks. They've had a simulation match last week, and you don't know what they're going to pull out, right? If they have a dive comp that they want to do, like I see Twisted Fate on here. If Twisted Fate Shaco, all of a sudden 2 people can instantly show up in bot lane, and that could be a pretty spicy situation down there.
What I'm excited for, this sounds horrible. I'm excited for the Caitlyn. I want to see an AD take over a lane, get 100% of the CS, and then just siege down a turret, mow it down, machine gun style, make them come to you. I don't know that Caitlyn is the best ADC in terms of damage, but I think team comp wise, she's very hard to beat. I'm just seeing strong champions everywhere. Lee Sin versus Ivern, I find, is an exciting matchup because the Lee Sin is always going to be looking for that outplay potential, and then the Ivern is going to be looking to counter that Lee Sin play in team fights, so that's just a direct head-to-head battle right there. I really like how diversified the supports are. You've got Leona, Nami, Alistar, Karma for Psychopez, and then Karma, Thresh, Janna, Malzahar for Banshees. They're both covering all of their bases, peel, engage, damage. Peel, engage, damage. I mean, both well-rounded. They can mold to their team comp, and I'm actually hoping to see the support players saved for later in the draft due to their flexibility.
Well, when you're talking about flexibility, that is one thing that I think Crimson Hellkites have a slight advantage on currently, based once again on the stuff that we could find pretty easily. Dirk and Antitoxin have both played Malphite, and I believe when I was looking, there was at least 1 or 2 games in there, Dirk playing Malphite in the mid lane. So that could be a possibility, while also he does have some games on some mid Annie. And so Annie also is something that Banshees can play. So there's a little bit more flexibility on the Crimson Hellkite side, whereas the Bronze 5 age here may want to set up with a more traditional draft, going in to try and pick a strong, steady champion first couple rounds, and then maybe try and set up for some counters later on, depending on once again on each team. This is the best of 2 matches here, or 2 matches will be played today. So not only as people start jumping in the room here, will teams be on the blue side and the red side. Each team will get a chance to play that pick ban phase out to their best of abilities. So we get loaded in. Is there a preference side that you would prefer in this first game? Never seen anything from either team. Like, this is the first match of the season. Minor, did we lose you?
Oh, sorry, you lost me for a second. So, first game of the year, I'm going to say, give me first pick. And give me my rock-solid player I know I can count on. Doesn't have to be the best player, but the player I can count on to not feed into the lane. Stick him on his comfort champ. First pick, say, try and beat us strength on strength. We're showing you this pick. Now you try to beat it. See if you can mind games them into picking something that they might not be as comfortable on, that you can turn that matchup that may not be favoring you just because you know that matchup so well.
Mm-hmm.
How about yourself? Do you prefer that strategy, or do you prefer a last pick more?
I prefer last pick. I would rather set it up and see what the enemy team wants to do, because I like the flexibility. So it does look like we have started picks and bans here, ladies and gentlemen, and the Crimson Hellkites will be on the blue side in Game 1. They get the first ban, they get the first pick. We do have the 3-ban system going on currently, and it's a Vi coming out. First ban is Vi. They don't want to get picked off. That's an instant Viger brand. Holy crap, yep. That's fast.
Viger's a good band. You don't want the infinite scaling. I mean, it's pretty simple. Although, if he's a good Syndra, you can punish a Viger, but you just don't want to deal with infinite scaling.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And there's the Rumble, as we talked about. That was the only possible flex pick that, Bronze 5 is shining.
Hard on the mid laner there.
Now, Psycho Pez did say that Shadow was the person on their team to look to go off. And if he's uncomfortable against certain champions or certain styles, they want to get rid of them early, and there's his Syndra gone.
Yeah, that's a good... I think if someone is a good Syndra player, banning Syndra is a good ban, because she allows you to beat someone in lane just straight up. If you're better than them and you're on Syndra, you're going to beat them unless they're outplaying you, right? But if they're outplaying you, they're better than you.
Mm-hmm. And Twitch is the final ban coming in for B5A. I don't know, BVA. Still haven't decided on how I want to abbreviate their name for the match yet. But first pick coming in, what would you go tank? Would you go jungle? Support?
I mean,
what are you thinking?
Whoever's the most confident on their team, that's who I would pick. I would not pick a support. I'm really hoping for not a support champion here. unless they know exactly what their team comp's going to be.
Yep, and
I would pick Caitlyn.
Caitlyn?
Screw it. Get Caitlyn.
Celia, that wasn't one of his 5s that I saw, but...
Oh, I'm on the wrong team. I meant Jin.
Once again,
I'm on the wrong team.
Because they get the flip-flop, I just leave the stuff in one set. There's the Ivern, first pick.
Super powerful, that damage mitigation.
Definitely risky, and one of the things they didn't do, they didn't ban Malphite coming out from Bronze 5 against the Crimson Hellkites. They may end up first picking him since they Antitoxin did not select it, and they went with the Ivern. I think Ivern, though, may set them up for more success.
Here it is, Ivern versus Lee Sin. Let's go,
That's
man.
what you predicted that about 10, 12 minutes ago, so I think we're off to a good start, and they've stolen away the Malphite. Definitely looking to maybe set something off. Now, Malphite wasn't something that I'd seen recently in War Turtle's match history, so we're not sure how good he is on it.
One side note with Ivern, he's a very interesting champion because he goes around and acts all happy in-game. He's like, oh, I'm setting you free camp, but if you look on his in-game stats, he does a bajillion true damage. He is brutally murdering every jungle camp that he supposedly sets free. So he is the resident psychopath of League of Legends.
Oh, that is great.
Just throwing that out there, man. It's 100% true.
We will check that stat out at the end of the game when we get there. The Ivern versus Lee Sin in jungle. I think... It depends how fast Lee Sin, how quickly Lee Sin can jump around and get off those early ganks. So we may see a proxy pick coming in here.
Yes,
now,
I'm willing to bet that's a proxy pick.
Okay, we'll have Miner jump in and try and get one of them
Yes,
to
I
let
will
us
work
know.
on that to see if I can figure out what the proxy pick
I mean,
is.
unless I mean, I don't know. We did see Urgot played in the what division finals was it last split in top lane? I'm drawing a complete blank, but one of the division finals last split there was
that was
top
the
lane.
Uppermost division,
Yeah.
the Supernova.
Yeah,
right?
Supernova, and it looks like Oninoken has graced us in the chat.
Urgot equals Nautilus.
So
Nautilus is a good, solid pick. You cannot have more CC than Nautilus. Impossible.
yeah, but will Malphite's one knockup be more impactful than all of Nautilus's CCs?
That is very true.
That's what's gonna be probably the most important thing going in. Otherwise, it's gonna be two tanks just brutally wet noodling it up there.
Now,
Top lane. There's your Caitlyn with the Nami.
Yep.
Nice, safe poke lane. Can push in pretty hard. Got a little bit of sustain from the Nami. Got some heal. Decent disengage. So maybe
This
some
is-
follow-up CC after the Malphite ult. Good team comp building so far from Bronze 5.
Yep, I was just gonna say this is shaping up to be a rather interesting team comp. You've got your Peel group of the Caitlyn Nami, and then you've got your Engage group with the Lee Sin Malphite. Let's see if they can pull it together with a mid pick to round out that team comp.
As we do see, Crimson Hellkites are finishing their comp here. Looks like they're showing the Leona right now. They do need a support and a mid laner. What do you think Dirk is going to be most comfortable on picking blind into this comp, knowing that there's a Malphite diving into him?
Man,
Diana.
oh, okay. That's not what I had in mind, but
That's not what I was expecting. That's a dive champion of
screw it.
their
They're gonna
own.
dive you. Dive them back even harder. I like it.
So as we see the dive now, Diana doesn't really have a dive buddy, right? Because
Leona.
and so you're just gonna leave the Ivern. I guess then the Ivern's peeling for
Yeah.
Lucian.
The Ivern and the Nautilus are good peel.
That's
and
true.
I expect Teemo as a proxy pick.
Yes, so Teemo is most likely a proxy pick as well, so we may end up seeing that is someone will probably drop out of Champ Select here. So coming in for the Crimson Hellkites.
Teemo equals Victor.
Teemo equals Victor,
I
so that's
really
just wave
like
clear.
that pick.
Solid
I really like
wave
it's
clear.
not just wave clear, because you cannot dive against the Victor by yourself. That really pulls it together. You've got the 2 dive units, the 2 peel units, and an anti-dive high damage mage. I think that's a very good team comp, and it also brings the scaling factor of Victor.
Yep, that's one of the things. The other thing we kind of have to think about is, though, Victor does have to be careful in lane once Diana hits 6, because if he places his gravity field wrong, Diana can, jump out of it, and just once she's on the Victor and the gravity field's down, he could die real quick.
Man, he has to be careful in lane even before 6. Diana can just pick at him. If Diana hits her Qs, she'll just slowly pick him down, and then flash, auto, ignite. Now, he should be able to bully that lane around. Should be. But let's see if he can execute on that potential.
Mm-hmm. That is one of the key things, is the execution. Victor was something that we saw Shadow on, but that's the matchup I think we may be looking... I think actually the first matchup we're going to be looking at, I want the first 6 minutes. I want to see which one of these junglers is going to be more impactful as we go back through the pick ban phase here, as they throw stuff up and get back situated. The first 5 minutes though, between the Lee Sin and Ivern, who's going to come out more ahead?
I want your opinion. I'll beat it.
And honestly, with an Ivern in the game, it comes down to your mid lane. If I'm with the Ivern, if I'm the Ivern, I say, okay, you have got to push your lane up. I don't care if you burn through a potion pushing your lane up because you eat her ass. You have to have lane priority, because I'm going to be invading, and you have to come and help me. Because if you don't invade as Ivern, that's such a huge part of his kit. Just that free buff to buff, take away the Lee Sin's experience, slow his snowball down, and then it's on the Lee Sin to decide, do I want to try and stop the Ivern? Do I want to go for his buff, which is more risky? So the Ivern actually has priority in the jungle matchup. It's strange to think of having priority in a jungle matchup, but he does have some priority in that jungle matchup if you're
Understood.
if you are if you're comparing it to a lane. Sorry, my mind went blank there.
That's the issue I slightly have as with that, though, is you do have Diana, who is pre-6, could be in a losing lane matchup to Victor.
Nah, Diana takes her shield and out pushes. She just has to eat a potion.
She'll have to eat a potion, but then once again, Lee Sin is one of the more flexible junglers on where he can start and where he can end.
Yeah. Victor sucks to push into level 1, but if he does his combo, he has to auto you, so that means your lane is pushing anyway. You take your shield as Diana, you get some autos down, and once he autos you and the lane pushes for free and you auto down the melees, you have priority. You're not going to lose that priority. You don't even need to stay up in harass range. Once you get priority, you can go back, dodge in just to last hit. Yeah, so it's not the end of the world, but if you're the Victor, you have to be very mindful of that, or you tell your Lee Sin, hey, I can't get lane priority level 1. You had better have enough wards down. I'm going to ward for you. You ward. You have to adjust your jungle route knowing what this Ivern's going to do.
Once we leave the mid game and leave the early game and get into the mid game, how do you think this Malphite is affect? Now, they picked the Malphite away from Crimson Hellkites, but when you look at Crimson Hellkites, AP top laner, AP mid laner, AP jungler, AP support, and Lucian, while does fairly well and can be a bully, not necessarily the most AD heavy AD carry. So while they did steal away the pick, it's not necessarily the best one into a really AP heavy comp.
I agree, and this is kind of what I was saying where I like first pick because they're going all in on Idocles. They're saying, hey, we're picking the Ivern for one of our solid players. You decide what you want to do with that. And I think it might have mind games them a little bit. And they picked the Malphite as a counter pick. Now, maybe Ward Turtle plays Malphite really well. I don't know. I didn't go and scout that far down his champion list. And if he does, it's a good pick. But if he doesn't, and he's picking it to take it away from Antitoxin, I think it is a bad pick. Now, we do have to talk about the scaling. You're talking about the AD comp, or the AD on the Lucian. Victor and Caitlyn scale like crazy amounts. They will be unstoppable semi-trucks of pain coming at you 30 minutes into the game, whereas Lucian has to be in range of Victor and Caitlyn, and if double lift is any indication, Victor wins the Lucian Victor matchup when late game rolls around.
Well, I wouldn't trust the AD carry from the worst team in North America, considering he was, just some streamer like a couple weeks ago.
That's true. He's probably washed up.
I know. He's in the same boat as this other guy with like a beard and like stupid hair, crooked nose and stuff. What's his name?
I think Feedlord or something.
I don't know what his name is. He uses
yeah,
letters to make words in his name. Cutie.
Crazy scaling
I don't know.
in this game. In this game, there's crazy scaling on one side, but man, the Ivern shields. Oh man, like early mid game, we've got. I think Ivern is actually makes up for the lack of scaling. We've got a heavy mid game spike for Bronze 5, but the Hellkites definitely have the true late game scaling.
Okay, so we're about to load in here, 40 seconds in. We're going down the list here. On the blue side, we have the Crimson Hellkites today. Up top is going to be Antitoxin on Nautilus. In jungle is going to be Idolices on Ivern. Banshees is actually going to be playing Diana in mid lane. We have a swap. I just caught that right now. Dirk, the main mid laner, is actually going to be playing support Leona today, and Celia on Lucian. For Bronze 5H, we got Ward Turtle playing Malphite in top, Butterfreelo on Lee Sin in jungle, Shadow 2097 playing Victor in mid, Alston Rez Tip playing Caitlyn ADC, and Psycho Prez on Nami, and we should be loading in like 10 to 15 seconds, hopefully.
Now, question for you. Where's the Ivern going to start? Is he going to go for the
deep
invade?
wards? I believe we will see deep wards, and depending on how the deep wards go, and what we see from those deep wards will depend on his start. Hopefully, they get some good vision and set it all up for the team to be successful and get going. And once we see success, it should.
What I'm hoping for
and I'm just seeing
is a level 1 invade. Can you beat the level 1 of Ivern Leona? I don't think you can. And Nautilus. Like, that is some heavy-hitting level 1 power right there. And the Ivern makes it such that the enemy team wants to get deep wards, so maybe you don't even invade. Maybe you set up a surprise bush. But either way, I want to see them take advantage of their humongous level 1 power spike.
And we should be loading in here in just a second. And are we good? Chat? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Super. As we have people spawning onto the earth, and there's the classic pause. Someone has a little bit slower computer, or it's the fact that Rito doesn't help custom matches the best. Sometimes loading in those custom matches takes a little bit of time, especially for seconds. So, as we were just talking about, the invade coming out from Crimson Hellkites should be pretty powerful, and this is what hopefully can get the Ivern going. And once the Ivern gets going, we don't know what's going to happen, because once Daisy, there's the dive buddy for Diana. Daisy's the dive buddy.
Daisy's not a dive buddy. She's so slow. She's not.
I think Daisy Diana dive buddies sounds pretty cool.
Maybe. But only time will tell, Amo. Only time will tell. But I'm not seeing it.
Probably not. But we'll have some fun here. Let me just gotta hit all my buttons to remember how to run the visual cams.
Oh, we've got an R. Are we maybe going to start? One side has an R. Oh, the unpause is coming. Prepare yourself.
Apparently.
Excellent. Game 1 is underway.
Okay, so directed cam is up and going. We should be good. And go. So, standard items.
They're all going down mid.
Oh my gosh.
Seeing some pings.
First, I want to say that the Nautilus is running the nice, brand new pay-to-win skin.
Ivern took Q.
Of course he took Q. Uh-oh, this may be a trap. Lee Sin,
Q as well.
there's a ward in the
Lee
bush.
Sin.
Lee Sin, he better run. He better run. Uh-oh. There's the flash.
The
Successful
early
invade
flash.
already, everybody. Everyone, I want to see hands clapping in the Twitch chat. There's a successful invade. Ward is down. Flash is down. Lee Sin and Ivern is now going to... Gosh, this is such a creepy champion watching him walk around.
Just remember, psychopathic murderer.
I know, psychopathic murderer. Lee Sin looks like he's pinging to start his red. As we see...
Minions have spawned.
Is that the new Malphite? The number 8, jeez. Mecha... Is that the race car one? I can't remember. Can't remember all the names of the skins. Ivern doesn't need a leash, so this once again does help, Crimson Hellkites, because he can start wherever he wants.
The Ivern is choosing to mirror the Lee Sin. He knows Lee Sin is not starting blue.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting strategy. He must be going for a fast clear instead of an invade.
Yep. And it does look like Crimson Hellkite is going to get pushed up in all of their lanes as Nautilus is up in top lane. Bot lane already fighting for vision control down there in bushes. And like you said, Diana is taking some quick shots from the Victor to try and gain control of this lane. Lee Sin is going for that early invade onto blue buff, but he's going to be really disappointed when it's gone. Almost wasting his time here. Does get a ward down into there. So we're going to start with using the directed cam for our listeners today. We'll probably switch over the manual here in a little bit as we see a gank probably going on in mid lane. So first Dragon is going to be Infernal, though, as we see there's a quick Q, and Ivern is in with the Diana onto the Victor, as Victor has blown barrier already and is going through his potion. So Ivern with the first gank. Success again.
Yep, good gank, and actually decent mind games by the Ivern.
Leona goes in down in bot lane. There's a nice Nami ball onto Leona, but an exhaust comes out onto the Caitlyn. Not enough as she gets chunked down to less than half health. Once again, Wet Noodles on fight. Lee Sin is still over on this blue side at the Wolf Camp, so he hasn't done much. He got invaded himself, and Ivern has picked up his second blue and hasn't even got red yet, as now Lee going to go in on the Diana, lands the Q with the E, ward hops back to Victor. A lot of action so far this game.
Oh yeah, these teams don't disappoint at all. And I like the mind games that the Ivern played on the Lee Sin. He could have counter jungled a little bit harder, but I understand him not wanting to get caught out since they didn't have any wards on the Lee Sin.
Yep, and Caitlyn is getting pushed in pretty hard so far.
That's not something that you see every day.
Miscue by the Lee Sin in mid lane allows Diana who does need the back. Now Diana didn't go with corrupting this game, actually started with Doran's Ring and 2 potions, as we may see a hook in from Nautilus, and if Victor gets hit by any CC from Nautilus and Ivern, he'd be stuck in one spot for a very long time. Lee Sin now doing some counter jungling down low as well. As Ivern, they're mirroring each other in counter jungling.
Yep, and I mean, you're seeing 2 junglers just mind gaming the heck out of each other, and you know, they're both playing pretty standard. They're not going for any kills. They're just taking the farm, and I really like to see junglers do that instead of saying, "Oh no, I'm in this quadrant of the jungle. I know he's going to be in the opposite quadrant. I better go back and secure my jungle." You say, "No, I'm going to take away his jungle, and if he misplays, I get his jungle and my jungle."
So we see
but so far, neither has misplayed.
Both of them, after picking up the, the Krugs, or not the Krugs, the Golems there, switched over and tried to do a gank on that same lane that they did the invade in. And more damage coming outside. Oh no, and there's the Diana, there's a flash coming out, and there's Ivern going in. I don't know, under tower, is he going to live? Diana thinks he's going to go down. First blood to Lee Sin. Ivern's now in trouble. This is not looking good for the tree, as Lee Sin's just going to follow him up. Victor with a great flash there, as, oh no, Nautilus shows up. Miscue coming out from Lee Sin. This may be dead. Flash from Nautilus this time. Lee Sin trying to get the W with the shield on, and he's going to try and escape. Smites the Raptor for some health. I don't think this is going to be enough, as Antitoxin doesn't have. We have a kill down in bot lane as we're watching this Lee Sin get chased, and there's the flash. His flash came back up. Another blast cone into Dragon Pit, and he is out of there, ladies and gentlemen. Whew, and we missed a double kill in bot lane because we watched this Lee Sin.
Now, the Lee Sin chase took so long. Malphite has a commanding lead in top lane. The Nautilus going for that gank, or the counter gank, good play. The amount of time he spent down there may have been an overstay. What are your thoughts on that as our resident top laner?
Well, Malphite's ecstatic. He got some free time with that wave. He didn't burn any summoners. Nautilus has the burn summoners. He got to hit level 6 with his teleport up, so he can teleport in ult into a gank anywhere. It's just a matter of fact of what he can do with it, right? So, good CS now, Nautilus behind in levels and stuff, but the real problem was the fact that the Ivern and Diana dove the mid lane and got too close to the tower. Diana took tower shots, and then Lee Sin was able to counter gank just in time to actually get the kill. And while they lost first blood, as now we see Lucian going in on against. This is probably going to be a very dramatic bot lane. We missed the double kill down here earlier. We should hopefully be catching the rest of them.
I do want to make a comment on that mid lane dive. I believe that was the correct play by the Crimson Hellkites. They just had a little bit of misexecution, and had the execution gone correctly, that play would have resulted in Victor's death.
Yeah, so, once again, this is the first game of the season. There's going to be a little bit of jitters, a little bit of bugs. Not everyone is used to be casted on the big screen, as they say. So, vision, though, for both teams has started to come out. We start seeing pink wards all along the river.
Bot lane action.
There's the ult from the Leona. Doesn't hit anyone.
Gank.
Not going to be enough. Flash out from Nami. Not there. Oh, jeez. Lucian is in control of this lane. He is laying out all the damage, even at 3v2, and they're going to be able to take down the Caitlyn with the E from Leona.
That turn of events. Now, I'm going to have to call out the Bronze 5 age. The Caitlyn's teammates kind of left her out to dry there. It was a 3v2.
And that just allowed just perfect time for Ivern to come in and actually steal away from the blue buff from, Lee Sin. Is now Lee Sin's trying to track on the Ivern, who basically says, blast plan away again, buddy, because we don't want to be part of you.
Has that poor Lee Sin... Oh, I guess he's gotten a red. He's got a red buff. He's
Yeah.
gotten one buff this game.
Nautilus had roam mid to try and set up a gank on the Victor as they want to focus down Shadow, but not helping. Blows his ult for absolutely nothing in the mid lane. This is, you know, poor Shadow has been ganked like 5 times already.
Yeah, he's drawing a lot of jungle pressure for sure. Props for him, and props for not dying to any of them. One thing I want to point out, top lane, that Malphite's getting rolling, and Nautilus probably outscales him late game, like just one-on-one, but having a Malphite with gold, having that impact ult to be able to just shoot out on command into the enemy team, and he's going tank, so he's going to be in the middle of their team, unkillable. It's going to be, like, that's where the Bronze 5 Age needs to play around. He's their Fed member, and he's their engage tank. Use it. Push the engage button.
We see Ivern looking to set up another gank yet again in the mid lane. Here comes Daisy with the shield as the Redfield comes down, prevents Daisy from getting any further, and not the third knockup. And now Daisy's going to start tanking tower shots and it's going to go down. Once again, they're really focusing hard on this mid lane. I personally would want to see Ivern. You know, he's past level 5, so we see a bubble here onto Leona, as there's the ult onto... No, Caitlyn's going to probably explode here in just a moment, as it looks like Teleport was possibly going to come down from Malphite, but was stopped by the Nautilus. Lucian is going under tower for 1 kill. Is he going to pick up the double with the heal? He does, but Caitlyn takes him out.
He could have had that for free. He misclicked. His double tap hit the tower. I don't know if he could have gotten out. Good play to pressure that, but once again we're seeing some first game jitters to where if you execute that correctly, you've got the chance of getting back out of turret range. But the click on the tower sealed his fate. But look at all these minions that he denied by doing that.
Yeah, that tower is set up. So I was about to say the Ivern with his Malphite did not wait any longer, and gone goes Nautilus.
Yeah, we're seeing. Hey, they called it. They said these lanes are going to be volatile. There's mismatches in top and bottom. We're seeing these mismatches play out.
Now
we've got a 55 to 80 CS in the top lane, 0-1 to 1-0, 77 to 55, 3-1-2 to 1-3-0. Now, I would like to see both teams play around their strengths. Bronze 5, play around top lane.
Diana goes in. She's gravity field. Oh, I think Diana may be gone from this one. If Victor lands another E, and it cuts away. And Diana did escape that, as we do see that Bronze 5 Age has got good ward coverage around this Dragon Pit in their bottom blue side jungle. Lots of pinks down there. Ivern, though, with his passive, because he's past level 5, will allow his teammates to pick up the buffs. And I want to see the next red, as soon as it comes up, Ivern just take it and give it to Sills. Engage. Once again, Lucian gets hit by the Nami ult, but I think he's just going to be able to finish out. He's not going to... Oh, he's going to tower dive yet again for a kill. And the Rune King, Lee Sin with the kick and the Q takes him out. Getting too aggressive down there for Lucian.
Yep, I mean, it was a good play, but he wasn't watching the mini-map as he did the play. So, even though good micro execution, bad macro execution. And
Malphite is not giving any shits on this Nautilus right now. He is 2 levels up and is just wailing away on him. He doesn't even have any MR other than Merc Treads, which is stopping that hard CC coming out from the Nautilus. He's up a lot in CS, as we see, you know, Bronze 5H now trying to take control and get their Caitlyn back into it. I'm surprised with all of the control of Crimson Hellkites has had previously to this, they haven't been able to turn that into either bot lane tower or the dragon yet.
Crimson Hellkites, their bot lane is going a little bit hard for kills, but also they don't have vision right now. Bronze 5 Age owns river vision, and that's really preventing Crimson Hellkites to have the vision established to be able to safely make plays. Ooh, Lee Sin lane ganking. He knows where the aggression's going to be coming from.
Up in top lane, we also see just all of the damage coming out. Nautilus has not been able to get any MR as Lucian is once again just trying to lay all of the damage down onto this bot lane. Oh no, he stepped on a trap. There's the bubble onto Leona, who can't peel now. Lisa misses the kick as Lucian's trying to kite back. All from Leona just to peel for the Lucian. Lucian goes back in, not wise, as Victor has roamed from mid lane. He says, I'm just going to run past you, Nami, because I'm going for the carry, and he's not carrying. Ult comes out from Lucian, trying to peel now for Nami, who has to flash or Leona has to flash away as it keeps cutting back to top lane because there are wet noodles up there. As I'm just going to manually pull it down here, the bot lane so low. Ivern's going to push in the show up to try and hold the wave as all of Bronze 5 is going to back.
Hey, excellent rotations from the Bronze 5 team. That is excellent team coordination. Bot lane saying, hey guys, we're going to get aggressed on. They're going to go for this tower. Let's turn it around.
Awesome,
They
Res
tried to make that
playing
play.
with fire right now, though, having no support down here. I know that there's nothing, and there's the tower. There's the first tower. Ivern is now stuck between 3 red team members. There's the bubble into the Victor E and the Lee Sin Q. Daisy spawns just to die.
Yeah, he went for a very deep counter jungle with no vision.
And
Oh, this is excellent.
Banshees is going to get stuck in the field as top lane looks like Malphite ults Nautilus under tower, picks up a kill for Bronze 5 and 1 on the jungler and the support. This should be a free
5-on-3
dragon.
Power play. Good job going directly for the dragon. Oh no, it respawned.
Resets, that's not good.
You know, if I'm Crimson Hellkites, I just give this. There's no way you're gonna steal it.
Yeah, that was risky. As
I'm glad they didn't go for the steal. That's good job. Go for the low risk steal, but don't commit anything for it.
Nautilus is going to burn teleport to save top lane tower as Malphite probably would have taken it down. Malphite has almost got a 50 CS lead up on the top laner, which is a pretty drastic difference, especially between 2 tanks. As we see, Leona makes Victor burn the flash. So
excellent reflexes on the Victor.
Just in time. Let's take a quick look at the gold here for the two teams. While Crimson Hellkites are up by 0.3k, almost their entire advantage is on one player, and it's on Celia.
Well, hey, sometimes that's better than having 4 people with a slight advantage, having 1 with a large advantage, but
it is once we get to team fights, if Malphite hits Lucian, I don't think Crimson Hellkites have a chance. If Malphite misses, we can see what happens. Lee Sin trying to get
really,
down.
I really like where the Bronze 5 age is right now. They've got scaling champions. There's only 1 tower down, 17 minutes in. None of the other towers are really threatening to go down all that soon.
They also got Infernal Dragon.
Yep,
very important.
So their scaling comp is allowing the time for them to scale, and the enemy team's not really pressing as hard as they should.
Well, they're setting up. I think the Crimson Hellkites now are going to set up as we see Lucian is now here in the mid lane. If they get Diana put into a side wave, Banshees did take teleport on Diana. So if Diana goes to this bot lane, or even up to top lane to try and deal with Malphite, I don't know if Diana can at this moment, but this tower is going to go down fast. I think they need to start up trying to do split pushes. Try and get some towers.
I think the top tower is going to go down this wave. Oh, no. They've got their jungler up there to stop that. As soon as one wave crashes into tower, the Malphite will take top tower.
The tower is at 220 HP, and Malphite could probably walk up to it and auto it twice, and it'll be gone almost.
That's like 4 Malphite autos. Come on.
He has 115 attack damage.
Yeah, but it has a ton of MR when there's no minions around.
That's true.
Or armor. Not MR.
As we do see the back from Victor, not at the right time, as I think the Crimson Hellkites are going to be able to spam. Nope, there's the ult coming out from the Nami, trying to push on. Lee Sin kicks Diana out, but the Leona E pulls him through, so she doesn't get finished off Diana, and there goes the Lucian and Ivern. Malphite has roamed down here to see if he can pull something off. This may be their chance. Caitlyn is now in the bot lane with a pickaxe, Cull, and Zeal to try and play catch-up. I mean, 45 CS behind this Lucian, as we now see them trying to get some autos in. Ivern using that passive in the bush to try and get some range autos, as Lucian's got short range and does not want to explode to a Malphite ult.
Well, I mean, those 2 deaths successfully defended mid-turret, but I'm not sure. Do you think that was worth it or no?
I mean, Lee Sin did die and gave up some kills on it, so I mean, he was 4-0 when he died and gave up pressure. It allowed Caitlyn to try and catch back, but Caitlyn just now has a BF sword compared to Lucian's. Already has Blade of the Rune King and a Phage, so I don't. It's a toss of a coin, right? They kept the pressure out of top lane, where they could have probably pressured it more. It just kind of depends on what you want.
All right, now we see the power of Malphite.
Well, Malphite said it's done. Under tower, you're gone. Diana's down. Leona is probably going to go down right as quick as Lucian was not there for the tower defense, and that was real quick. And you know, just because you have redemption doesn't mean you can live through it.
Hey, excellent job by the Bronze 5.
Lee Sin, good tower dive on Leona. Lucian, good the counter. Nautilus counters that with a kill. Nami throws the bubble out, or in the ult out to try and push him back, as now Lucian's trying to play wave defenses. Nautilus is going to get caught up in the gravity field. Caitlyn is now just autoing towers, takes one shot to her face anyway. I don't know if Diana is going to be back here in time to defend this, but it looks like 2 or 3 minion waves. 1, 2, 2 solid minion waves in that bot lane pushing in. So someone's going to have to go back, and Caitlyn, the one behind, is going to go collect it. But you have Victor here in the mid lane to catch, push this in. And there's Diana going in with the Ivern. Finally gets onto the Victor. Here comes Daisy helping take down the Nami. And the Malphite doesn't have or flash to escape this. And that is too much CC. Now we have Daisy here. Gonna tank it up. Everyone's standing in the bush under tower. Both teams just traded kills once the pressure had left because someone had left the mid lane.
I really like these 2 teams' play style. As soon as they see an advantage, they just go for it. There's no messing around. Should we do this? Should we not? Hey, we've got an advantage. We're taking it right now.
And this is
them just showcased that.
2
towers.
Yeah, 2 towers real quick.
Directly to the Crimson Hellkites. That'll help them out with their snowball. Try to keep that scaling team from scaling.
Now, they did lose top lane due to minions, but we do have an Ocean Drake that just spawned, and they are picking this up on arrival. So, and it looks like there's Bronze 5 want to fight. Now, Daisy is down. Malphite ult is back up. As we see, they are split up. Lee Sin gets blown up before he can do anything. Malphite comes up, but he misses the AD carry. Diana pushing into the backline by herself. Nobody on the peel for her. She goes down. Leona's got onto Nami, but Malphite trying to tank everything up on the front line. Doesn't look like he has enough armor and health yet. And down goes Caitlyn at the hook. And Leona, too many CCs coming out from Hellkites right now. That was a great fight after not a straightforward engage. They went in there as 4 without the Malphite, who tried to ult into the pit over the wall, and he just missed the AD carry and the AP carry. He just hit the tanks.
Yep, and there we're seeing both the benefits and the detriments of having a Malphite on your team. That good Malphite ult completely turns the fight in your favor. But if the Malphite ult misses, then you really have an uphill battle in the fight.
Well, Ivern taking a lot of damage from the Victor and Lee Sin here in mid lane just to help kind of push in the wave. So both teams now have to try and reset. the Crimson Hellkites, after those mid-trade kills, were able to take 1, 2 towers, steal blue buff, pick up 4 kills for 1 in a team fight, and get a dragon.
And an Ocean Dragon is going to be very important for them against a Siege comp. And their Siege comp with Malphite, I understand, but still, if you've got Caitlyn, Victor, Nami, you're going to be standing at a tower waiting for an opportune time to go in. So having that Drake to regen you back up is going to be really nice.
And Lucian's getting some free time on that top tower. Isn't going to be able to take it down as Leona's just looking to peel, and oh no, Nautilus is going to get engaged upon, but he's running back to his other lane. Leona ult comes out, and no one hits no one. Now, Bronze 5 Age is looking to take this team fight, but they're 80 carries in bot lane, as we see Diana here maybe coming in from the bot side, as both teams are just positioning around.
Crimson Hellkites know where the enemy AD is. They should be going for this fight hard.
Leona ult is already down for their long-range engage. They missed anything, maybe possibly set something up under this tower. Diana is maybe look to push mid lane depending on how hard they want to push this in. Victor does have good wave clear here. And if Diana pushes into mid hard here to try and trade towers, it does look like that's what the plan is. Caitlyn's just getting some time down in bot lane, but I don't know if this is the best usage of her time right now.
I agree. I think you need to get her back with the team. She's a crucial part of the wave clear.
We see Ivern with the bushes just trying to block all the vision as we see Nami gets too far forward, takes all the damage. Diana comes in from behind with the kill. Lucian goes out trying to get onto the Victor. Diana comes on to finish that one up. Malphite finally uses ult on Lucian, but not enough. Redemption comes down to help save up, and there's a heal and another redemption, or a shield, I can't tell. Giant circles with glowy things.
Too many circles, man.
And we see this is going to be one tower going down, and maybe can they push into? I mean, the Malphite ult's down, Lee Sin kick is down, Victor is down. Caitlyn now has Infinity Edge.
They want to. No, they're going to reset. Probably the safer play to go back and reset.
Yeah, take care of vision. So, kind of a risky.
Oh, wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Going on the Lucian. Can they get there?
There's one.
He got the Q off. I think he got it. Oh, good save by the Diana.
And Ivern showing up just in time.
Hey, good job by the Crimson Hellkites. Good communication. He shouldn't have gotten caught, but he did get caught. Called his teammates. Teammates came and helped. Avoided a death.
Didn't have to burn any sums there either. So.
Wait, he had his flash up? He was playing with fire.
He was.
You got a flash.
He didn't flash that at all. He could have flashed in the Baron Pit for safety. He could have done a lot of stuff, but he didn't use any of it. So, as we look here...
Maybe he was just trusting his teammates.
I mean, Ivern Shield is pretty good. I mean, look at that. We got 2 lockets already on, Hellkites. So, plus the Redemption and the... Athene's there, it's going to give a really large shield, so...
Can you just check out the gold disparity between the ADs?
Yeah, it is, well, we're just under 12,000 for the Lucian, where Caitlyn's not even at 9 yet. So we're looking over 3,000 gold disparity between the AD carries, really, pushing it, and then the objectives, the towers and the kills, now that's swung back in the favor of Crimson Hellkites. The gold disparity is now across the board for their team members, so everyone is in the golds up there. So
yeah, and what really sealed that last fight was they got the Victor. The Victor is the sustained damage for Bronze 5 Age that is ahead. So they took him out early in that fight when it was a 5v3, and that really carried the fight. If they are not able to do that in the next fight, I would actually look to see the Bronze 5 Age come on top in a sustained fight where the Malphite gets an ult on the carries. So we'll see if they can execute, but even with the gold advantage, I don't know though. Ivern has a lot of shields. What do you think? Who comes out on top in a straight-up fight?
Does Malphite land his ult on Lucian?
Yep.
Okay. And then Victor eats him, and Lucian dies. So, Bronze 5H. But if he misses, or they only kill Lucian and Diana's able to take out Caitlyn and Nami, the trades are pretty, it just really depends. Now,
I think we're going to get some action here.
Oh, no. The Vision.
The Bronze 5H is taking Dragon.
They don't care. They don't care about Dragon. They're just going to push down mid lane. And they're going to they see the Malphite. They know who's the person that's got to finish off their one carry. And they're just going to take him out. That's before he can even do anything. Victor lands a great ult into, the stun there. But it doesn't matter because they have the fast track to the mid lane here. As they're just going to push through. Here comes Daisy. And, oh no. Flash coming out. They're trying to get onto the AD carry. Lee Sin kicks, Niles back into his team. Bubble comes out. Lucian's able to finish off the tower. So the tower is gone. Mid lane tower traded for the Dragon. Definite worth for Crimson Hellkites.
Yeah, and that Caitlyn flash saved the game. If Caitlyn died there, that was game for Crimson Hellkites. So very dangerous defense by the Caitlyn, but she was able to wave clear enough that she saved the inhib. So this time it came out just fine for them, but I would hope that when they watch the replay they decide, maybe next time we let the inhibitor go rather than risking losing the game outright.
Well, no, the Bronze 5s are going to just counter push this mid lane, and I think the Hellkites should probably just give this one up. Diana's up in the top lane. They don't want to get dove here onto tower. As we switch back here, we'll switch back in so people can see that the items after some purchases here. Lucian has, got a full 3 items and halfway to his, his fourth there, where Caitlyn sitting on 2. Victor has finished his Hex Core item, but then has gone Lichbane, so he's only sitting on 2. The Malphite, he's just sitting on 2. Both of them tank items, though. No, nothing offensive to help get into and destroy that Lucian, and that may be a problem because we have Redemption, we have Ivern Shield, we have Leona using her peel, we have 2 lockets, not one but 2 different lockets that have stacked differently.
We're setting up a surprise bush.
Oh no, it's a Fnatic bush.
Oh. Good use of a ward.
Well, there's the blue trinket, and they've been spotted.
Good use of a blue trinket.
And Caitlyn's now going back down to bot. Maybe they're trying to decide who they want to send to bot lane. Looks like Malphite's going to go and try and clear out that bot wave farm. So, not going to be enough here. As Bronze 5H has to be really careful. If they lose a team fight, they can lose an inhibitor and the game right now.
Yeah. Bronze 5 really has to stop this Lucian. And they need to win 2 to 3 fights in a row before they can win. Well, whereas Crimson Hellkites, if they win 1 fight, they can maybe win the game depending on minions. Probably can't.
Oh, there's the hook onto the Caitlyn, and Ivern comes in with the Diana, and there's Leona on 3 people as Malphite's going to come in, and looks like 1 Redemption's coming in, but Lucian has not been here for this fight. There's 1 coming out. Daisy's finally going to show up to help, and Malphite lands ult on 3 people, and Diana's going to be able to take down the tower in top lane. She hasn't been here for this fight either as Gravity Field comes out, hooks in. Lucian is popped off on the Nami, goes through, lands on a trap, as we now see Lucian trying to get in there with Daisy and Ivern onto champions, as Diana hasn't been there for the entire fight, being up in top lane, and there is Yellow's 1. Gravity Field not going to be enough. They take it down 1. There's the ult coming out on the AD carry, not done, as there goes 1 inhibitor. Top lane inhibitor is probably going to drop here real quick afterwards. Are they going to risk it for the game? I mean, the death timer's only 15 seconds on Nami. They're just going to rush straight to Baron with that.
Yep. And now, I have to admit, I miscalculated the Ivern shields. I thought in a straight up fight, Bronze 5 will be able to outdamage. They're not able to outdamage the Ivern shields. The Ivern shields are keeping up with all of the damage that Bronze 5 can put out.
The Ivern shields plus the Ivern locket plus the the Leona locket. So we got multiple shields here from a team comp that you wouldn't think have a lot of shields.
Yep, Lee Sin going for the steal, which I can't blame him right now, but it's pretty risky.
We'll see if he gets this.
Baron, and it's a 5v4.
He got it! He stole the man!
The Baron
Butterfree has taken Baron buff 4. Bronze 5 age. Now they get a chance to defend. Now they can push out.
Oh my goodness. What a turn of events. He doesn't get the kick on Baron. He doesn't have that Lee Sin execute. He says, I don't care. Going in anyway. Gets the smite steal. Let's go. Great job, Lee Sin. Whew.
Okay, take a breath from that. We have a dragon coming up here in 50 seconds. I mean, what do you think? Should they try and contest it?
No, you cannot contest this dragon 4v5. Now, maybe if you see Diana at the top lane, but still.
Lee Sin's up, and once dragon's up for 30, not up for 30 seconds. I mean, Lee's up now.
If they lose this fight, they lose
Ivern's
the game.
by himself. Diana is in top lane, but Diana does have teleport. Flash comes out for Ivern trying to escape. He's going to have to use the blast plant to get away. Gets into the dragon pit. I don't think that's where he wants to go because here comes Lee Sin. Lands the Q. Oh no, if Lee takes it. Lee Syndrome. Take it. Ah, no fight here.
No, now it's a 5v5. Diana's close enough to be there. Don't throw the game. Your Lee Sin just bought you time. Scale up. It's not worth a Mountain Drake.
Ivern, this may be in trouble. The problem is, look at the minions. The minions are pushing in. We have 1, 2 supers as Dragon spawns. So there's a pink ward there. There's a pink ward there.
Caitlyn's going back to defend. Now they're still trying to contest the Baron 4v4, but I don't know if you can contest 4v4 with a Lucian with that much gold. 9, 2, and 9 Lucian.
Yeah, Malphite's gonna back off here. Looks like they're just gonna back with the Empowered Baron.
Wise choice by Bronze 5H. You know,
they're losing supers.
That dragon up until the point at which they could have lost the game for it, and they wisely decided, you know, we're not gonna lose the game over 1 Mountain Drake. We're gonna make them win the game.
Now they better get to this bot lane to make sure they keep this, because we now have a ZZ Rot from the Nautilus in this bot lane here to help push in onto tower, get Lotion in onto this one with some double shots, take this tower down real easy. Diana split push up in the top lane to get this down as shields are coming out.
The Victor got caught.
Leona's got in deep with the Nautilus ult coming out as well. Leona's just trying to run away as everything. There's Nami ult. I think Leona's going to go down here.
We're not on the same page as the damage dealers, and Leona dies for it.
Oh, Lee Sin goes in with the kick. Actually does land, gets through, and there's Daisy, the only one taking up. Caitlyn's all the way up in this fight, right in front of the tanks. What is going on? As there's the ult coming up. Malphite lands the ult onto Lucian as he's going to dash out of the redemption and doesn't get the heal. Flash coming out from Nautilus. There we go. Diana is going to try and burn through, but she does not have a Sheen, ladies and gentlemen. She is just running straight with the Nashor's Tooth, so she's not going to be getting any extra shots in here. She's not being able to take off because Malphite is back in return. Caitlyn is ran down with Lee Sin onto this Nautilus to take him out. And did they lose a tower? This tower was down to 573 health. In the inhibitor tower, the Nexus tower, one of them was down. If that was a side wave, minion wave with that would have gone down, but it was the mid lane, so both of those all the minions were taking 2 tower shots there. So now this is a counter push.
Major miscommunication. The teleport was up on Diana, and more importantly, Lucian was not there to back up the Leona and the Nautilus when they went in. So just miscommunication on the part of Crimson Hellkites. We had some players wanting to back off, some wanting to go hard, and you know, in solo queue, maybe that works out, but in a team setting, you've really got to be on the same page and continue to play nice and crisp.
Ivern's gone full into the Lucian bucket here. He's got Knight's Vow now.
Nice.
So, fully Lucian, I will spare you with all of my abilities to try and keep you alive, to help you carry us here. As we do reach the 38-minute mark here. Real quick, Miner, though, we're at 38 minutes. Caitlyn's finally got 4 items. Victor's nearly the 4 items. Are we going to see the scaling become a factor?
Yes, and I think that's what we saw in the last fight. We saw the armor pin coming out from the Caitlyn. You see those crit items stacking. She's hitting, 2 to 3 people at a time, depending on who's in range. And you see the Victor, I'd like to see him get a Morello as well to help with all the ambient healing that goes on. And shield, I don't think it helps with shields, I'm sorry. But just the ambient healing that is going on their team.
Caitlyn does have the Mortal Reminder, so
she does.
Good for her to try and cut down on that healing. As we see Lucian, though, he's got only one spot left, and he's going full offensive. Full offense, unless you want to count Ninja Tabi.
No, I don't want to count Ninja Tabi.
Okay.
But, yeah. Oh, we have a DC. Yep, there's the pause.
Okay, so as we take a look here at the pause and sort of flip around, we've reached that almost 40-minute mark, as we were just touching on. Solo laners, they're 17. Junglers, Ivern's at 16, Lee Sin's at 15. Somehow, Caitlyn is level 17 and Lucian's level 15. I wonder if that's a spectator bug.
I don't know. Now... Oh, okay, I wasn't sure.
That's interesting, because Lucian has all the kills, has more CS. Now, Caitlyn has been often solo lanes getting experience, so that could be why the Caitlyn is ahead. So she could have just, because of all that solo experience, while Lucian's been running around with teammates protecting him, like Ivern and Leona, he's been with someone the whole time to get reduced health. As we do see the ZZ right now setting up for this, as we see this may be setting up for one of the final team fights here, as the ZZ Rod goes down because it was sitting on a ward, and Caitlyn with that long range able to take it out. As both teams are prostrating here.
In this, that whole series of events, she was standing pretty far forward. I'd like to see her stand a little further back or with a tank in front of her.
Now Lucian trying to play in with fire here, being a little bit too further up. As we
same thing that I just said with Caitlyn.
Oh my gosh, Ivern onto Caitlyn with the hook, and Caitlyn's going to go down here. Nami's not going to be enough here as we flip it to the full screen. Malphite ult lands on 4 people, but Lucian was not one of them. He's able to lay a kite through the back and deal all of the damage as came out. Leona's getting down onto the back line now as Diana come back from her GA is going to take out the Nami. I think this is going to be the game.
Ooh, what a team fight. That was excellent. I think they're going to go for the end, and they should. They've got 4 extremely powerful members versus just 2.
Yep, and they do have the mountain, as we do see the hook come out. And it looks like Leona and Nautilus are going to get down on Lucian. Diana trying to get in as they're focusing the wrong person. Lucian is just mowing down the towers here.
Good job by Lucian. Eyes on the prize. Damage those buildings. Who cares about the enemy champions?
Now they're blowing everything onto Lucian as they do finally kill him, but guess what? Diana and the tanks take down the Nexus. Game 1 goes to Crimson Hellkites, returning champions from, I don't remember the name of the division. Sorry, whatever division they won last split. Congratulations, first game of the series. Let's check out some in-game stats and review it real quick before we get into the next game.
And the Lucian did some work, but I really want to call out the Ivern. The Lucian got caught out maybe a few times, took a little bit of damage. Those Ivern shields were all on point, and the Leona play, as soon as someone would go at Lucian, you would see Leona jump to them, stun them. Excellent tanking and damage mitigation to enable the Lucian to get in and do his thing, and then Lucian played well with it. So, great full team fight. Just well-rounded where everyone is doing well.
As we look down the final stats here, that final pick of the Ivern Q into the Nautilus hook locked down the Caitlyn. Nami, used everything she could to try and save the Caitlyn, but Diana dove through it with the tanks, took out Caitlyn. Once the AD carry was gone, they were all in a ball. Malphite saw a great chance to ult it in. but he missed the 80 carry. Lucian was able to stay out of that range and just lay down all that DPS from the outside and to take the game. So as we kind of look at the final stats here, we're gonna bring back in the new father, Orinokin. How do you think your team did in the first match today?
I think they did pretty well, considering you had a bunch of roles shifted around, Anti moving to top and Idocles to jungle and so on, Dirk down to support. Yeah, they did pretty good. I think Idocles got a little too deep a couple times, but other than that.
So, do you think the communication was a key, because it looked like in a lot of those mid-game team fights, they were just cleaner coming out from the Crimson Hellkites compared to Bronze 5 Age.
Well, one of the strengths of the Crimson Hellkites is their ability to follow a call, and that as their former shot caller, that was always invaluable. Although, I mean, there are a couple times where, I mean, you even make the bad call, but you've got 5 people on that bad call. It turns out better than if you have a collapsed circus tent with half the people following it, half the people realizing it's a bad call and going the other way.
So
they're good at that.
Excellent job by the Crimson Hellkites. The question that I would pose to you is, how are you going to stop that? What do you change? Is it a ban? Is it a team comp? Those shields were nasty on the Ivern, and the Leona and the Nautilus were just locking everyone down. Do you have to ban out that team comp, or is there a team comp that does well versus your team comp?
So if I were Bronze 5 Age, I would... well, first of all, Lee's got to do more early game. If they're going to pick Lee, they have to do a lot more early game, because his ability to make a difference is going to fall off. And like I said before the game, I felt it was going to come down to which jungler was able to swing the balance more, and that's what happened with Ivern. Is he kept doing work, and Lee's ability to do work kind of fell off. So you can ban Ivern and take away all of that utility, because that's basically 2 supports. But they need to get more out of their jungler. He's got to do more than get kills. He's got to manage the game better.
One of the things Vantage Stats track is the ward placement now, and wards destroyed, and that is something that your team did particularly well. The ward placement across the board is basically even between everyone's opposition, but Crimson Hellkites did a much better job at destroying and taking out Bronze 5 Age Vision. Is that something you guys have worked on before?
So as a jungler last season, I averaged between 12 and 18 control wards per game. And every single game we had a contest that if somebody managed to get more control wards out than I did, they got a legendary skin. In one of our championship games last time, we had 52 control wards out in one game. Basically, the mantra is throw them like wedding rice. If you know there's a ward there, throw a control ward and take the vision away. Because having vision is good, but knowing where they don't have vision is even better. So it's something we really focus on.
Over 50 control words in a game. I don't think I've even seen that in a stat line, let alone have been in a game where that has happened. That's insane.
Well, that's what lets us make tight mid-game rotations, is knowing where we can go. If you know where you can go and they don't know where you're at, then you can head there without having to worry about getting picked. So that's something we've really made an emphasis for our team.
Real quick, Miner, as he said, just before, little fun fact, he said that Ivern is not the friendly jolly fellow who sets the jungle champions free, camps free. He is the death-dealing destruction tree monster. He dealt over 500,000 damage that game. Not just Not to champions, but just in general.
Oh,
500.
did you show the damage
I
chart?
did. It was on
Okay.
chat. I don't know if people were specifically looking for it. I specifically looked over it. He led the game by almost 200,000 damage. He dealt 500,000 damage in game. What do you think about that?
Now, Oninoken, what is the best nickname that you have for one of your teammates?
We never really did that. We do nickname our plays, and the best nickname we had was the annexation of Puerto Rico, and that's a
Is that from the Little Giants?
it is. But
Nice.
what that is it's a bot lane recall at 5:30, and then a 4-man top to get the first top tower, followed by a top TP bot lane to pick up the wave as it's crashing, and it's saved us from getting behind several times. So that's our favorite nickname.
Looks
Man.
like we're jumping in and out of game here to set up for game 2. Anything you want to say before we get game 2 a rolling?
I just hope these games stay nice and competitive. It's great watching all these guys. They're all brothers to me, so I hope they have fun, and I hope this rivalry lasts a long time.
Okay, thank
All
you
right.
very much. And we hope this game goes as well. So
Yep, that was, excellent play from both sides on that first game. I just want to applaud both teams for truly excellent gameplay. Bronze 5 Age fell behind a little bit. They pulled everything together, and then they didn't throw. They made Crimson Hellkites come in and take the win. And credit to the Crimson Hellkites, they did come and they took it. And something that I want to point out, I've been in Vantage I've done 3 seasons. I've never had a play in any of my games, so
hey, whose fault is that, Miner?
it's my fault. I was the mid laner for most of that. I want to give props to the Crimson Hellkites. They're ahead of the curve.
We had one play. You know exactly what it was.
What was it? Go.
For ZZ Rots.
Well, I guess we had a play of... We had the 4 ZZ Rots play, and we had a play of Run at Their Faces. That
Yeah.
one worked well.
That one did work well. We tried the AMO go split push and
That
take
didn't work
towers.
very well
That
a lot
didn't
of
work
times.
very well. So,
Anyway, back to the current game.
current
We see a Lucian ban, probably wise. He was really bullying around that bot lane, just at least force him to show that he can do it on a different champ. I think that's a good call by the Bronze 5 Age. Not so sure about the Diana pick.
Alright.
Diana was not the most impactful, but
she
get
was
him off her comfort
she
champ.
was able
She
to
was
get
good.
to the back line and was
Yeah.
able to take out the there's the Ivory band. That's
Okay,
I was
that
expecting.
is what I was waiting for.
Yep.
I was
Now-
gonna say if they do not ban Ivern, that is a mistake because
These
that
are-
Ivern did work.
These are 3 completely different bands from game 1. So Bronze 5 Age is going to change their entire strategy and win. This is what hurt us. Let's get rid of what hurt us. While Crimson Hellkites kept the exact same bands.
Well, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep those bans. Force them. Just make them say, "Hey, we can beat you with the champions that you didn't ban." And then when they do show that they can beat you with those champions, then you change your bans. But those 3 bans worked for the Crimson Hellkites last game.
Mhm.
Ooh, who's the first pick gonna be?
That's the key now. War Turtle first picked. Oh, they're going to take away the Leona. They're going to take one of the hard CC champions away from Crimson Hellkites.
Now, Leona is a champion that you need to have mastery over. She's just way too easy to press E, and then you're in the back line all alone getting completely murdered. Just damaged rained down from every direction. So I hope that Psychopez
Talk
has some
about
good
dive
experience.
buddies. Malphite Warwick.
Ooh,
Those
now,
are 2 dive buddies right there.
now that Warwick's picked, he has New Warwick can gank better than old Warwick, but he still has a little trouble ganking early. So I'm looking for the Crimson Hellkites to pick winning and or pushing lanes to help out with that Warwick.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Bronze 5H, they are allowed to change whatever they want, right? They've adapted, they've taken away the Leona, Alston, Restip. I'm just gonna butcher people's names. I don't know if Caitlyn's the correct pick here because
there's never a bad situation for Caitlyn. Oh, Kled, that's what I want to see right there. Kled never lets you down. He makes the game exciting 100% of the time, whether he's feeding or carrying or somewhere in between. The game will be exciting. Let's go.
Okay, so I wish we were the LCS and we could have a mic check for this match because every time we see Kled, we're just doing a Scarl! Scarl! Get back here! That would be great. Listen to Word Turtle shout that out as we're Kog'Maw.
A Kog'Maw.
That okay, well
that is a complete opposite. More than a 360. That's a 480 from last game. Completely immobile, super long range, but he still keeps the high damage output.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Karma there for shields and 2 really beefy tanks, Kog'Maw may not be a bad pick. Now let's see how well he lanes against a Caitlyn.
Yeah, the laning phase may be yeah, so if Leona gets any good stuns in onto Kog'Maw, there could be pain in the lane. But Karma is a good defense. It's Lulu is pretty strong right now from the support position.
If Kog'Maw gets through the initial burst of the Leona hook with the Caitlyn trap, with the stun, and the Caitlyn net, if he gets through that burst, he can out-trade in a sustained fight. But getting through that burst is going to be very, very, very hard if the lane is played correctly.
Kindred is Graves, and Hecarim... Okay. Or no, sorry. Hecarim is Graves, Kindred is Vel'Koz.
So Graves...
Vel'Koz.
I feel like the Bronze 5H team is a little disjointed. We've got a Super Diver in Kled, and then Vel'Koz and Graves. But maybe it'll work out.
That's a lot of damage. Kled's a dive bruisery top laner. He's not a tank. Leona's a nice engaged kind of tank, but not the full amount there. But it's interesting to see now. Viger can play defense, but I don't know if that was. If you want to play around the Kog'Maw, you could pick something like an Orianna and have like a bottom half of the map be protect the Kog'Maw while your 2 divers dive in and do their thing.
Yes, but he doesn't play Orianna.
He doesn't play Orianna.
And I am a big fan of saying, you don't play Orianna, just pick your best peeler. Mm-hmm. You're going to have better success doing that than trying to maneuver on an unfamiliar champion.
Correct. So,
good job not falling into that trap.
Well, yes, thanks for pointing that part out. So he went with the Viger, and when Kled uses his ult, he can't be CC'd, but everyone behind him can. And that cage is really hard to run through.
Yeah. Although with the Kled move speed, I think you might be able... I think it's wide enough that you can run around it fairly safely unless it's in a choke. I'm not 100%. I'll have to see it in-game. I don't see a lot of Kleds, but I think it is.
Yep, it's going to have to matter on what exactly... how the team fight breaks out. So...
Yes.
Graves... They went for
Graves
more damage earlier...
Yep. Puts
than
down
Lee said.
A ton of damage, has a crazy jungle clear, does not bring CC, and is not a true tank. Mm-hmm. He's a drain tank. He does the lifesteal drain tank type of thing, but Yeah. Oh, I guess Bronze 5 Age needs to brush up on the rules a little bit and keep the same bands for the Vantage stats. Not a huge deal, but just something that Vantage League prefers is you keep the same bands just so they can keep their stats straight. But regardless, the game will go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So as we see here, the picks are coming through. Kled with Scarl, I don't know how that interacts. I haven't seen enough Kled to know how that reacts with like Warwick ult, if he's Warwick ulted and then
anything that happens, doesn't matter what it is, he becomes unCC'd once he jumps off of Scarl.
Mm-hmm. So that could be an interesting situation, but Caitlyn, it has a little bit of mobility with her nat, but she's not the most mobile AD carry. And Vel'Koz can be considered a sitting duck. Has self CC when Vel'Koz ults, so Malphite could have a good easy target.
Something to watch for in the top lane. Both of those champions run out of damage after their initial trade, and I honestly don't have enough experience playing either champion to know who wins after the initial trade burst, just auto attack to regular auto attack. If Kled goes Fervor, I think he would win. But I think that's actually going to be important because Kled's trading pattern is actually Q, E in, 4 hits, E out. And I think that when Malphite stacks armor, his trade pattern of just dumping his spells when the Kled comes in would out damage the Kled once he gets some Ninja Tabby and some armor. So
it's going to be an interesting trade up in the top lane. A lot more volatile than the last game. Although we did see Malphite, ult Nautilus twice under tower and get kills both times. Because of that weird roam that Nautilus did in the early game that basically let Malphite get a level and a half ahead.
Poor Nautilus. I do want to point out that Nautilus received 0 help during lane phase. That roam, he stayed too long, but the initial roam was good and would have put him behind just by itself, and then he did not receive any help after that. So even though the Malphite did get ahead, that might have been a team choice, or it might have been just the jungler's choice of, I'm just not going to come up there, you're going to have to do the best you can. So it's not necessarily completely his fault that he got behind. Or that he stayed behind, rather.
Now, last game, the mid-game shields and, mainly the shields and hard CC from Crimson Hellkite won them those mid-game team fights and skirmishes, which allowed them to take towers and dragon and get kills, which was pretty even up until that midpoint. And then the late-game scaling just didn't happen in time for Bronze 5 Age. Compare that game to this game, where you have endlessly stacking AP mid laner and a AD carry who likes to get a couple of items before he really gets going.
And I'm going to even say the champion, scales the second hardest after Veigar. I don't think you can really scale harder than Veigar, but Warwick. Warwick with 3 to 4 tank items and Ninja Tabby, how are you going to kill him?
Vel'Koz is going to have to just drain through all of the... not get hit by 2 ults.
Yeah. Vel'Koz CCs himself while dealing his damage, and even then, the Vel'Koz is required to get heal reduction from... I forgot what the item is. I can picture it.
Morelos?
The mage heal reduction, Morelos, thank you. He's required to get that just in order to deal with that I'm not going to call it horrible, immense drain tanking that Warwick does.
Crazy burst. This bot lane going to go better, though? Bronze 5 Age? they don't have any
Depends on
heat.
how good Leona is. Because if it's a good Leona, you kind of play it like a Blitzcrank lane where you just kind of hang out as long as your AD's doing just fine. And then when you know you can get a kill, you go in, but you just don't throw out for random trades. If the Leona just goes for random trades, this lane is going to go very poorly.
So spectator mode is just about done here. So we're going to hopefully jump into the match here in just a moment. Level 1s, what do you think? I don't think there's going to be much action.
I don't think you can beat Leona level 1. If you have Leona, I think you should invade. No matter what. Unless you're just trying to mind games them.
Mm-hmm.
Leona's level 1 is one of the strongest in the game.
Now, I do want to mention that the junglers did have some good mind games from level 1. So, if you are just catching us after playing your own matches tonight and you're checking in, this is game 2 of the series. It is between
Crimson Hellkites and the
Crimson
Bronze
Hellkites.
5 Age.
And Bronze 5 Age today are going to be on game 2, the blue side. We have Ward Turtle up top in the top lane playing Kled, Butterfreelo playing Graves in jungle, Shadow.
Wait, hang on. Was that a platinum border
Yes.
on Ward Turtle?
Yes, it was
Wow.
a platinum border on World Turtle. I don't think that was from his solo queue account though. That may have been from...
Oh,
because
he played on the in the very upper tier division. So I bet that when his full team scrimmed, that they did flex with him, and
Yeah.
he was on a team with 2 diamonds and a high plat.
Yeah.
At least I think there might even be another very high ranked person on there as well.
Yeah, so, and we'll finish the rosters. Here's Shadow is playing Vel'Koz in mid lane. Caitlyn is being played by Alston, Rez Tip, and Psycho Pez on Leona. And on Crimson Hellkites, we have Malphite played by Antitoxin, Idiciles, I'm going to pronounce it wrong every single time, in jungle on Warwick, Dirk, Vager in
we've got some
mid lane.
action.
Let me finish. Celia's playing Kog'Maw at bot lane. It looks like we may have some action here as Warwick has started. Flash Fear
Oh, man.
goes in and Flash just Dash coming out from Kled.
But
Scarl.
it's a
Technically,
small
Scarl did the dash, but
that's true. It's a small victory to make Kled start dash, but
not for
worth
your
the
flash. So,
Yeah.
one flash
Now
burn and
Warwick-
engage. Banshees is playing Karma.
Gank.
There, finish the rosters.
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to make your job as hard as possible, and I'm hopefully succeeding. But yeah, now Warwick basically can't gank until his flash is up, unless the enemy's overextended. When he has his flash, you can kind of force it when the enemy's, playing safe to normal, but without flash, you really can't force a gank. So let's see how that plays out.
Okay, as we double check, Viger, where is it? Can I see the stacks? He has gained 1 total ability power. If I don't ever
We'll keep
talk
an
about
eye
that
on
stat
that.
for the rest of the game, don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
We will keep an eye on that for the viewers.
We'll try to anyway.
Bot lane got some action going on.
Top lane is top lane. Okay, so as we get into bot lane here, Karma laying down lots of poke. It's ridiculous. Now, Caitlyn off to a slow start with the CS. Leona not the strongest in lane until she gets a couple level 2. So we'll see what exactly happens down in this one. As we see Graves maybe going in for an early invade.
The bot lane is looking at him though.
Graves shows up, and there is the damage coming out. Butterfreelo is looking to get in onto this Warwick as he just lays down the
Hellkites.
autos. He has red
That
buff proc.
rotation was slow, but now Graves is staying.
He's gonna have to. Ooh, Flash is over the wall. He had no dash. Dash was on cooldown, but now the bot lane has to go back to lane. And Caitlyn got some free time, so this is something that she wasn't allowed earlier. As Graves he really wants this. He can just back over there. He doesn't have Flash. He smites it with 42 health left. He hits it early.
Wow, that I guess. I mean,
Butter Freelo really wants to kill his work right now.
Wow, he's very aggressive right now. But his lanes do have advantage. They've got priority. He's not going for the Gromp. Settling for a Scuttle instead.
Now Warwick is at 4 CS, so this Graves is putting on a farm show, invading right now.
Top lane looks like there could be a kill coming in. There's a flash. Oh, the second dash. First blood to Kled. This is very bad news because if you get Kled snowballing before the Malphite can get armor,
not looking the best. As we see, Vel'Koz goes and places a ward right after Graves had cleared the Scuttle there. Not sure if that was wise, especially because Warwick's Flash is still down as Malphite teleports back into top lane and tries to collect more of this CS and just keep up in levels. And Malphite's going to have to play probably safe for the rest of this just to sustain in lane and just not allowed to be, you know, kicked out.
Malphite, Flash, and teleport are down. Malphite can legitimately not move past the halfway point in the lane. Maybe he can do that once, but if he does, he's going to get chunked out.
Especially if he does it now, as Kled's going to come back to lane, and Graves is on this half of the map after spending so much of the time bot side earlier.
Now, one thing to look at, though, we've got the bot lane where Caitlyn is having a much better time CSing now that she's gotten rolling. So we're going to see Caitlyn with some farm. And this is just, things are going well for Bronze 5H this game.
Well, Kog'Maw's not really the lane bully that, oh no,
that's what I was talking about.
Heals and exhausts come out, and Vel'Koz is here though, so this is not looking good. Flash coming out from Caitlyn just to save a life, and Cecilia is going to go down, but the explosion maybe going to be able to pick someone up. It's going to pick up Leona. Warwick is down here just to help protect his support now. Maybe push this in.
Flash is back up.
It is, but he's only level 3. That mid laner, Vel'Koz is 6 already. Vel'Koz can probably just... If Vel'Koz wanted just no mana to ult.
No. Yeah.
But Viger is now getting some free time in this mid lane.
You better take a peek up top because Kled's got the Malphite very low, no mana, and under his own tower.
Well, as soon as you tell me to look top lane, they dive Caitlyn in bot lane. And there's the ult coming out from Kled, does take out the Malphite, and Scarl runs away because he got hit too many times by the tower.
One of the most frustrating things about playing against a Kled, he immediately drops aggro as soon as he jumps off Scarl. So, 100% free tower dive right there. Malphite, I would say the Malphite player just does not have a lot of experience playing against the Kled, because you're just not allowed to stay in that situation.
But looks like we got some players being a little bit greedy. The Caitlyn got greedy down in bot lane. Malphite got greedy up in top lane. As we're going to see Scarl come back here for the Kled. Viger, while was able to pick up some more CS and get to level 6, wasn't able to get too much damage in on this main lane tower. Vision control wards have come out though from Crimson Hellkites.
Now, stack track, Viger is currently sitting on 29 stacks. We will keep you updated throughout the game on the stack track. Quick over-under, Amo. 150 stacks.
Over.
Okay, you've got some faith in Mr. Durkadurk to stall out this game because it looks like bot and top are going pretty well for Bronze 5 Age.
Yeah, well, Graves just did a gank where he does Graves things. He runs at you because, you know, it's all Graves can do in a gank. But he stick around, and Karma got too close. CC all that Graves needs, and that comes from Leona as they lay out a ton of damage. Celia trying to play it back down. Looks like he actually gets the better, but steps on a trap, gets headshot by Caitlyn, and I think they're going to have to back off here and just let Caitlyn push this in. They are not in a position to stick around, especially if Leona goes back in and she just misses the E.
It was a good thing she missed that because the Caitlyn was going for a ward. You know, when you're playing Leona, you have to have good communication with your AD.
And Malphite has just left top lane and said, I'm going to go hang out with War because he does counter jungling because Kled's going to just dive me. And we see Vel'Koz.
They're looking for the mid lane.
Oh, Flash right away.
Flash.
As Flash actually came out from Veigar, they're maybe trying laying the cage down as well. Not in time, so great Flash.
Excellent Flash by Vel'Koz. Now, Kled is up 20 CS. Caitlyn is actually ahead in CS and even in scoreline with the Kog'Maw. Yeah, there's just almost a 1,000 gold lead, 800 gold lead for Bronze 5 Age. Things are looking up.
This Kled is level 8. Malphite has not been in lane in an extremely long time as War comes for the counter gank, or return gank, onto the flashless mid laner, and he goes down.
That Veigar was so close to dying.
Under 100 HP, it looks like,
But
probably
hey,
was. Karma gets
support.
in a deep ward while that happens, so someone's going to have to deal with this Kled, though, because Malphite has just left lane. He's just abandoned it almost entirely. This is looking really bad for this top lane situation. The tower's already less than halfway gone. Malphite's just now level 7, just hit it. He's down in experience, he's down in gold, he's down in items. Kled's having his way right now in top lane.
Now, one thing I do want to point out, even though Kled is doing Kled things and just really in control of his lane, the vision for the Bronze 5 Age is lacking. If you just go to their vision, you know, they've got a little bit in top river, but...
Oh, Graves has the Flash the Veigar cage, and Flash coming out from the Warwick. Fear does not go off on him, as we see, you know, Graves is going to be able to escape, as we're talking about that vision. So,
yeah, if you would switch over to just contrast the two visions.
Yeah, we can swap that over. I can't remember what key I put it on.
F1 and F2.
Oh.
Although a lot of vision from Crimson Hellkites just died. They've been getting these deep wards into the enemy jungle, and Bronze 5 Age, I would like to see them get a few more deep wards when they have advantages. Overall, great job by the Bronze 5
no,
Age.
that is a dead Kog'Maw, as, you know, Leona ult and all the CC plus Graves had stuck around for the damage. Caitlyn is there as well, ulted, and down goes the bot lane from Crimson Hellkites. This probably is a dragon since Warwick is up in top lane.
Now, what I want to point out, this is very similar to Game 1, and even some of the earlier ganks, but... Oh, we missed a kill.
Oh, we're looking at dragon, and Warwick just tower dove Vel'Koz again. Kill him. So,
but I was going to say that the execution is there from Bronze 5 Age this game, whereas last game it was just a little bit off, maybe from some jitters. And it looks like we've got a top lane gank coming in, although not
going to matter.
First tower.
Tower's gone, so that's not going to be helpful. Veigar's going to maybe try and hold this mid lane against 3 champions, but I think Kled's going to be able to escape this one here, as Malphite doesn't have ult, and there goes the Kled ult. He charged
so
the wrong way.
It's as bad as when Sion ults away from you.
It is. Except for...
that Karma got caught warding.
Oh, this is not looking particularly good down here. Although, Kog'Maw has laid out enough damage.
Karma duo.
teleport coming in from Kled, though, into this pink ward that they walked right over, and Karma's going to have to flash this if she has it. I don't think she does. Right as the bear on the rope. Bear trap on a rope was going to, finish off as Karma lands a little bit of poke. Vel'Koz throws a Q, not going to land. No slow coming out there.
So now, what's the play for Crimson Hellkites? They don't really have an advantage in any particular lane, and the top laner is starting to snowball. What do you do in that situation?
Stall. Do your best to stall.
Specifically, how do you go about stalling?
Make sure that the people you want to get fed get the CS. You have to start allocating your lane resources better. You start talking about who's going to which lane. Malphite, well, he needs to get Sunfire Cape and Ninja Tabi and get those armor items going. Kog'Maw's build's more expensive. Vigor's build's more expensive. Vigor hasn't even finished his first item yet. He said he went for magic Sork Shoes boots already. It's just a situation of you may have to give up the other tier 1s because you don't have real pressure in any of them. All the outer towers are, as we check them out here, they're all, over 75% health. And you're going to have to send about probably 2 to 3 people, depending on the rotations of the enemy team, to properly get all of them. I'd say, section off a quarter of the map, have Malphite push out top lane a little bit, and then focus 4 people down on this bottom half.
Excellent plan. I agree that that's a very good way to stall out the game. Let's see what the Crimson Hellkites go with.
Graves is coming around on a gank, and Flash coming out from Vigor that's missed the Graves ult as Flash Warwick ult, W come out, and Warwick ult misses both people with Flash coming out from Graves. Not enough as Warwick and Vigor take down the Graves.
And great game plan by the Crimson Hellkites. The ganks are probably not going to help out top at this point. Go put your jungle where the pressure can be utilized, which is mid lane against the immobile mid lane carry.
Now Malphite does have ult, so they may want to just dive this Vel'Koz. He's already been dove twice, or 3 times technically, because Flash the first Malphite ult. As we see here, this is setting up to be extremely juicy right now, as they are really pushing in. But Kled is... Malphite's not even waiting. He's going to go in. There's the flash. There's the stun. And there is down. Malphite's going to keep taking as Kled comes out. Flash from Malphite. He gets away from tower, but Kled
double kill to Kled.
He showed up just in time to get the kill, and now Warwick's not going to be able to do anything. Bear trap on a rope is going to pull the Wolfie back in and slice and dice. Comes from... the fear just saves, but the dash. Kled picks up the triple and the shutdown as bot lane for... both teams, looks like the AD carriers got super chunked. It's going to have to back, and there's the net into a headshot from Caitlyn, not able to finish off the Kog'Maw, who has to run away with the shield from Karma. Kled is on a rampage and is now taking towers besides lives.
118, 5-0-0, and like you said, most importantly, chewing through towers. He's not letting these Crimson Hellkites stall out the game. He's saying, I've got an advantage, we're taking it.
He's got a large advantage. He has the most CS in the game with 124. Let's check his gold as we got to pause. He has, 7,700 gold, and no one else has even hit 5.5 yet. And that's on Caitlyn. He is a full 2,000 gold up, not only on his teammates, but especially the enemy team. In his lane opponent, we're looking at almost 4,000.
Yeah, it's a pretty brutal path to go back down for the Crimson Hellkites, especially against a split-pushing champ like Kled. You have to send, not even 2, but sometimes 3 and 4 champions to stop such a snowballing champion like Kled, and let's see how they handle it, and let's see if Kled continues to rotate around the map and use his advantage to take towers. so many times you see in solo queue people with large advantages, they'll, kind of mess around, go for kills here and there, just generally have fun, play around, and then all of a sudden they die a few times and everyone on the enemy team is caught up, and where did the lead go?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we were getting back into the game before the 3 minutes hit on the pause. I was paying attention to that. We are in a 3-minute delay because of spectator mode, but don't want to risk anything as Kled is
Kled is
absolutely
rampaging.
destroying champions right now. Helped out with Graves and Vel'Koz. Take out the tank, who is only level 9. Like I said, 2 levels behind his own opponent. And now Kled and Graves, they're going to go on a dive
see the
here.
Kled ult.
Let's see. It is. He's going to lead with charge.
He's not even ulting. He's just walking in.
Walking in as the minion waves just goes down right now. Kog'Maw flashed nothing that I saw as we maybe get a little bigger out as Kled comes in, takes out one. Leona ult comes out. Not worth it. Warwick is going to go down onto Graves to finish one off. Victor is now here as well, but there is not going to happen. Oh no. That did not look good for Crimson Hellkites, and Skarl has returned, and this is going to be another tower because I don't think Malphite's going to try and defend this at all. He shouldn't. He needs to get out of here. He does have ult up, as we do see the nice spectator mode down there on the bottom. You can see damage and health and all the funky stats.
Fire Dragon coming up in 2 seconds.
Fire Drake.
Yeah.
And
excellent
that's
Drake
a free dragon.
for someone like
Kled.
When Vel'Koz. Kled benefits a little bit from it because of the Titanic, but not as much as the rest of the teams. Graves, Caitlyn, and Vel'Koz.
But that is the second dragon. They've got a mountain and the fire. The number 1 and number 2, or number 2, number 1, depending on how you want to look at it. Dragons in the game right now. Crimson Hellkites, they're the team on the defense of this game compared to last game.
So Kled bought a full black cleaver.
And boots, because he didn't have boots either before that last fight.
Now the stack alert, we're currently at 119 stacks from Vigor, so he's continuing to stack, but let's see if Kled can close out the game before the over is hit.
Now the key is Vigor can't ult Kled. I mean, he can ult Kled, but that would just knock Kled off of Skarl. It wouldn't actually take him out. It's like,
I think it's a worthy ult to unmount him.
Yeah.
Once he's unmounted, he's immobile. Kog'Maw can really mow through him, especially with Kog'Maw's extended range. And they need Kled to be immobile and not dealing damage.
Mm-hmm. As we now see Deep Vision coming out for Bronze 5 Age. So we're going to see Caitlyn now is stuck. She nets into the wall, but not enough as Malphite comes in with the ult, tries to get in. Here comes Kled. We want to see him come into the map as Skinky take a 3v4, and Graves shows up on the other side. Warwick is here as well as Malphite tries to run away, and looks like that's not going to happen. Leona dashes in with the Q, and Graves finishes that off, and there is the Yordle on a little mini dragon, absolutely tearing up a rampage. Great start off for Crimson Hellkites, but not able to finish it fast enough.
Really well for Crimson Hellkites. They picked off the AD, but Kled's on the enemy team. Whenever you engage something, if Kled is on the map, he will be there in 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is Graves Kled on a tower. It's donezo, right? Like,
yeah.
Caitlyn almost got one shot by the Vigor, but was able to survive just enough to take like 1 or 2 more abilities and autos from the enemy champions, and Vel'Koz did a nice counter ult that kept them all in the same position to allow Kled to come in and keep that fight going to wrap it all up. So the 057 Vel'Koz doing work just to absorb all of the damage and CC, I guess, from Crimson Hellkites.
Yep, and also he didn't try to run. He knew, okay, we're going to take this fight. I'm going to just throw all my damage out and just accept that I'm going to die. Too many players try and run instead of, I know I'm caught. I'm just going to deal as much damage as I can in return. And he actually dealt a decent amount of damage during that team fight.
Mm-hmm. He did. So this is much more. We're basically 8.5K up now for Bronze 5H. It wasn't until a little bit longer in the game, the first one here, and now they're in the position of power. They've taken the 2 dragons. They've taken multiple towers. Do you think the Crimson Hellkites can stall out long enough to start getting towers? Because they haven't taken a single one yet, and if you get about 2 or 3 of those towers down, that gold swing can flop real quickly, especially if you kill Kled.
I mean, the only way...
there's the work, and ult to Graves was not going to be able enough, and there's the ults coming out onto the Caitlyn. It looks like Leona takes a bunch of it, and Vel'Koz got far enough back to get out the ult. Coming in, Vel'Koz came in into top lane, taking out the Vigor as we see Caitlyn and Malphite fighting it off in the one side here. Karma is going to go down to the Fed. Kled is no one left to pill for Kog'Maw as he's going to run away, get some explosion down. Malphite is off and running the top lane,
might be
and
an inhibitor.
Kled is like, yeah, that's the inhibitor.
Yeah, that, once again, Crimson Hellkites, they get a good engage, but they have to know that Kled is on the map, so after you get that pick, you're not allowed to keep going, and that is just a super unique thing that Kled brings to the table. Now let's see if they go for Baron, because
I think they just want to take this top tower.
Realistically, they can do anything they want.
Well, they just want to take this top tower, clear off some vision here, set it up. They probably do have lots of gold to spend. Looking down the line, everyone's got over 1,000 gold to spend, except for Graves, who was back in base and just spent all of his gold. So this is a Kled showing. Now, Kled wasn't one of the champions that I noticed on Word Turtle's forum, so I think this, as the league continues, this may be something other teams maybe want to pay attention to, especially if both these teams make the playoffs. They will remember this game.
Yeah. One thing, though, I think that was a very...
Kled is teleported to the bot lane. He's going for the hard counter push as Crimson Hellkites were expecting a Baron fight, or Baron engage, just like you thought about. And Leona and Graves are down here just trying to lay off some damage, preventing the split push. It looks like Kled's going to get the inhibitor. They're going to go down. Leona dials down. Graves isn't able to finish off the work. Actually, it looks the other way around. Kled is finishing off as Caitlyn now shows up. He gets engaged on by the Caitlyn Wark with the Kog'Maw. Finishes up, but Kog'Maw's going to go down. Vel'Koz is able to finish off the Wark as we now see Victor ran all the way back from mid lane to try and take on Kled with the help of Malphite going on in the inhibitor by the inhibitors, because both of them have gone down, and that was a crazy form of events.
I did not expect the Caitlyn Vel'Koz to turn that like that.
I did not either, and sorry, I was trying to do my best with the camera, people, but that was back and forth. This is why the LCS has 3 camera crews going on at the same time to give you those multi-vision action shots. That does allow for another dragon for Bronze 5H, as they've now got 3 dragons. Kled with the, I don't want to say risky teleport, but the force the action teleport. Let's call it that way. They forced the action. They just showed people at Baron and then teleported the bot lane to get the free inhib. What type of risky play was that? It worked.
Well, I mean, it's not all that risky. The biggest thing you're giving up, if you give up a Baron power play, they may get 2 towers this early in the game. That's the most that could have happened, so you're risking a little momentum shift, but you're not risking a game-swinging amount of gold. So
Kled looks like he may be going back on the split push in bot lane, or just to steal farm and place some wards as Crimson Hellkites have to back as Caitlyn and Kog'Maw are up in top lane dueling, and it looks like Kog'Maw's going to get the better of it this time as Leona is stuck in a hard place as Graves now is here, dashes in, tries to get the ult. Kled's going to be dashing, but it looks like dashing in onto the base as Kled as Malphite ults onto the Graves, and with the help of Vigor is going to take down one kill, but they're all backing, but Kled says, I don't care about my teammates, I'm taking towers, this game is all about me. It's people are straight backing. Vigor's left to defend the top lane here as Kog'Maw had come back and is just going to try and finish this out, but there are multiple super minions here. Fear coming out from as Vigor's able to finish off the Leona, and Vigor down to 5, 6, 7 HP. He lives, but looks like the super minions take out the final Nexus tower as Vel'Koz finishes off top wave. Tier 2, Minor Talk.
Now, I don't know if I assume that was pre-planned, in which case that was a good move by Kled. But I really like to see the super fed member of your team, your member of your team that has the hard engage, member of your team that's going to do all your damage. I really like to see that person with your team. Now it worked out; he got 2 base turrets, but I think if Kled was
Karma's dead.
with the team and they tower dove, then they just aced him on the game. But either way, either strategy is acceptable. Oh, we see another fight with Kled. And he's melting through that Warwick. Ooh, good flash forward there.
The Graves. Okay, and it looks like they're going to finish off, like you said, the work, but Caitlyn's going to go down. Malphite goes in, but misses. Kled does get knocked off Scarl, but now Leona lands all the CC down onto the Vel'Koz as Kled finally goes down to Vigor, but Vel'Koz is now here with all the damage with the Graves. This should be Graves right now. This bot wave is pushing in. It has won. We have death timer on 16 seconds on Warwick, 30 seconds on the Kog'Maw and the Karma, so that's what we're looking like there. I think this is going to be the end of the game.
Hey, great set of games between the Crimson Hellkite, the Bronze 5 Age. Very, very clean play. There were not any throws, which is unusual for a game of League of Legends. It was all one team got an advantage and they took a win. No one threw them a win.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna take a peek. Wow. Go check out the damage graph and you'll be surprised. That's the Kog'Maw did some work. I did not notice that. So yeah, the Kog'Maw had most damage in game. Kled was 3rd in damage on his team, although to be fair, Kled was going after the juicy turrets, winning the game, instead of going after champions like most of the solo queue fed carries do. So I want to give him some major props for that. He wasn't running around looking for kills, he was running around looking for towers.
And he wasn't there for a lot of the team fights when they started. A lot of the team fights when they started were the Crimson Hellkites getting a pick or trying to start a team fight with a Warwick ult or a Vigor Cage to try and get a pick, right? To pick something off quick. And the Bronze 5 were able to stick around just long enough for Kled to come in and just wipe house, right? So he wasn't there necessarily for the damage, he was there for the kills, but his play was extremely impactful, especially just making top lane an island where Malphite couldn't get going. And I mean, Antitoxin, that's one of the champions he's known for, like we said earlier this evening. That's something that people look to ban out for him. So this, as we finish up the evening here, this is the first week, right? Teams have definitely time to adapt. They have time to work together, time to learn new strategies, and you never know. It could just be an off game for Antitoxin. I don't want to put him down or anything like that, but the the Kled came.
It's a very hard matchup for Malphite. Like, if the Kled gets rolling, you can't stop it without help. And he overplayed it once, and once you overplay it that one time, Malphite has no dashes, he's got no escapes, and when you don't win trades, you literally cannot do anything.
Yeah, we're not winning the trades, and they did try to do counters, right? So Caitlyn did have more control in the bot lane this game, but looks like Crimson Hellkites went back to that signature style of ganking mid. You notice that the Warwick and the Malphite multiple times used their ults to take out the Vel'Koz, but Vel'Koz was there in the end. He was there in the end. He stuck with his teammates, and while he wasn't picking up the kills, he was a little bit behind in CS. He was able to lay out the damage in the team fight ults that were needed. He just didn't, like I said, get the kills established to his names. And sometimes that's all you need out of your AP carry in mid lane, is just put as much damage out as possible before you go down.
Yep, I agree. And, even though there were some different decisions from what you and I might do, in the end there with the Kled split pushing kind of backdooring, it was obvious that Bronze 5 Age, they had a plan. They were discussing it. They were engaging 4v5 not to try to win that fight. They were just trying to take out a few members and distract people to allow the Kled to take those towers, to take the game. They were it was part of their strategy, and they executed it very well.
Yep, and this is something that is hard for teams to deal with at all levels. Wood 5, level 3 accounts, split push to LCS, split push. It's a very difficult thing to coordinate, and I think the Bronze 5H did an excellent job, especially that play where they showed people at Baron, and as soon as they showed people at Baron and they got sight of one or two champions, Kled instantly teleported to the that bot lane, took the tower, took the inhibitor, pushed in while some of his teammates died for it. At that point, all of the ambient gold from taking all the other towers, from taking all the dragons, had Caitlyn and Vel'Koz in position to lay out the damage to take out the Malphite, or not the Malphite, the Warwick, to take out the Kog'Maw, to take out the Karma, and trade kills that way. And then with everything gone on the map, with all the champions gone on the map, they were easily yet to get another dragon. This was a very entertaining series, especially for week 1.
I'm glad we casted this series. There was non-stop action.
It's great to see, especially some of these players back. Advantage, like we said, the Crimson Hellkites are returning members as a team, as a unit from last split. It's also good to see other members in the league stick around and join new teams, form new organizations, and some other players, as we said, some new players have joined the Vantage community, and we would like to thank everyone, especially tonight. This is something that Vantage is reaching its probably year end or first year anniversary of being public to not just professional teams, but to the public, each one of us, and using their Vantage Elite to help promote that. And you get the stats, but playing the league is especially fun, and I look forward, and I know Miner looks forward, and the community looks forward to more games casted like this, more organized things to help promote this, and hopefully if your games aren't casted this week, they'll be casted in the future. If you have any questions about this specifically casting situation, whatever, go ahead and hit up Sticks and Cross. He is the person in the Slack. He's in charge of the cast crew. Just let him know what you thought of tonight, what you thought of us, me, Miner, video quality, things you want to see, things you don't want to see from the cast team. If you're looking for individual help, coaching, especially like anything like that to go over in this particular game, if you saw something interesting and you want to discuss it with them, go ahead, hit up any one of the 10 players tonight that played in the game and ask them any questions about what they played. But there are also players up from, we got people in the Vantage in the Slack from Bronze 5 all the way up to Diamond 1?
Masters.
Masters? Who?
No.
Did Tuber?
Challenger. No, Masters. Tuba is Masters.
Tuba is in Masters, so we have a Masters player part of the Vantage community, and wide range of players and people across the league. So you can talk to any of them, and they will greatly help you in your specific situation. So we just want to throw a shout out not only to the staff that puts this together, Chase and Mark, and I know people by their Slack names, not their real names, so I apologize for the other Vantage staff members out there that get all this stuff going. So we look forward to doing this. Anything you want to touch on, Minor, before we do the final sign-off here?
Just great games, and I look forward to casting some more games as the weeks go on. And it's good to see we have a healthy audience. So thank you all, and have a good night.
This was the Stellar Division, by the way, Minor. I even have a little image of it and everything, and I totally forgot what division we were casting tonight. So this was the Stellar Division, Week 1, Game 1 for both these teams. If you want to check out the website, it is vantageleague.com. Those stats should be updated here pretty recently. By recently, it usually takes a few days because not everyone plays on the same time, same day. So it just depends on when when everyone gets their matches put together, that they go in there and update stuff, and I know they will be keeping those up to date. There's not a location yet for the VODs, but that will be coming soon as well. So I'm the AMO. That was Minor Threat. The teams tonight were Bronze 5 Age and Crimson Hellkites, and with that, we're going to end it with we had a Veigar in the game, so let's end it with Tiny Masterpiece of Evil by League of Legends.